Hello guys. I figured we would just do like a little check-in today. It's been 2 weeks into homeschooling, so I guess just sit down, do like a little vlog chit chat. This is by no means going to become like a homeschooling channel or anything like that, but you know, just for today, just a little overview of like how it's been and stuff. Actually, the process was really simple, so I guess we can start there. Literally Wednesday evening I submitted an email, and on top of it, you don't even need to write the form anymore. They give you like a form. You could even fill it out right on the PDF online and just like submit it via email. So super easy. I really actually like the fact that once you send the email, you receive an automatic reply saying that they did in fact receive it and you're like in line. That just felt like an extra level of like, I guess, security, especially with something like this. You don't want to like do it wrong and then not be sending your kid to school and it's a problem, you know what I mean? So they sent an automatic response like, we got it, you're good to go, you can start homeschooling right now, here's your confirmation and we'll get back to you when we get back to you. So I was like, all right, cool. And the very next day, like, he didn't go to school, and that was that. In retrospect, at like the entire process, maybe a little too simple. Like, I don't know if I should be skeptical about how easy it was, but it was pretty darn easy. Okay, so that was the letter of intent, the LOI, the first form that you have to submit, like, hey, we homeschool now. Okay, cool, bye. Now, some more changes. A lot of the information that I was finding when I did the process was pre-COVID, and a lot of things have changed. In that email was like, oh hey, usually we send you this packet within 10 days with more information, but we don't do that anymore. Go to the website, all the information is there. So again, very easy. However, I think because I was also a teacher, it acted to my detriment when it came to the iHIP, which is the Individualized Home Instruction Plan. So as part of that packet of information that they no longer send, that now is on the website, you have to complete this document, the iHIP, that basically is saying what you're going to teach your kid and how. So I was really overthinking this a lot. Like a lot. I have all these things for curriculum and all these ideas and all these things I want to do. Noel like low-key hates me. I think the kid wishes that he had stayed in school because it was probably less work than I'm giving him. But we'll talk about that after in a minute. I feel like kind of bad because it's like I loved being a teacher. I just did not at all like the system in place, you know what I mean? And like the restrictions on my teaching and my creativity and all that kind of jazz. So now it's like selfishly is my kid and like my curriculum and I can do whatever I want. So I am loving this. It's like the best of both worlds. I get to do what I loved about teaching without like dealing with other people's children and like all the bureaucracy and stuff that I just could not keep my... You guys know I can't be a hypocrite. I got a problem keeping my mouth shut in things that I don't agree with. So, you know, it's not a good mix. Anyway, I digress. So the iHIP, I was definitely overthinking it and putting it off because of that. So before they would send you the thing within 10 business days and then you have to send it back within a certain amount of time. They don't do that anymore. Once you send the letter of intent, you get the confirmation email, you get the website with all the information, and then from that very point you have 28 calendar days, I believe, to submit your iHIP. So here I am putting it off, not knowing what to put, worried that they're not going to approve me, literally like looking at standards and writing objectives and trying to freaking plan units. I was just doing way too much. So I actually ended up attending a live stream here on YouTube. I asked this girl a ton of questions and got like all the answers I needed, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely... She said something that really stuck, and then it was like, oh well, you know, that makes sense. So she made a comment. She's like, no, it's like, it's not that involved, kind of like, it's not that serious. And she goes, they don't really care about us, like homeschoolers, something like that. And I started dying because I was like, well, yeah, that tracks. Like I worked in the DOE. They don't really care about much. So of course, you know, the homeschools are like the ugly stepsister under the cupboard or something. I'm confusing fables right now. So like, we're Harry Potter when he was still living in the little cupboard. There we go. But that's fine. I'm cool with that. Like, I'll take it. You leave me in my little hole under the stairs, nice and happy and left alone to do as I please. So after Christine's live stream the very next day, I filled out the iHIP. I still went a little bit overboard, but filled it out. Once again, the form was online. However, like I said, I went a little bit overboard. So there's like a box and my typing did not fit in the box. So it kept typing and I thought, oh cool, like they'll be able to see it all. But when I saved as PDF, it was only showing what fit in the box. So then I got upset. So then I printed that guy out and I wrote really small and I fit all my stuff into the box. I'll show you. Oops. There's the box and there's me trying to fit all this information in there. I actually had to end up cutting a lot of things out. They also don't want like objectives or daily lessons or units or anything like that. They basically just want to know like, hey, what book are you going to use? Or like, what resource are you going to use? So for example, for English, we're doing some unit studies. I picked Animal Farm by George Orwell and Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. I actually found, big pro tip, but something I learned as a teacher, like a lot of teachers, besides TPT, which is teacherspayteachers.com, where you could like pay $5-7 for complete units of study, worksheets, all of that. There's also a lot of free units online, especially around like big literature books. A lot of teachers just will put on blogs, put complete units for free. So I went online and I found like 3 or 4 units for Animal Farm and I picked 2 of those. And then for Metamorphosis, there was 3 that I really liked. So just pulling lessons from the various units and bringing it together, seeing what Noel likes, you know, following whatever his interests are. It's so much fun. I'm so excited. We're also doing like other things for English. I have vocabulary workbooks from when I was in Brooklyn Tech, from when I was in high school. So I got him filling those out now. We're also using Khan Academy for a bunch of the subjects. Really, really recommend. I've been talking about Khan Academy since like before, like when even before remote schooling, I like soft mentioned it as part of my life. But then when everything went remote, I shared that with you guys as like a great resource for parents. nanoremo.org for writing, essay.app, which is actually the Jordan Peterson app. Definitely above 8th grade, like way above, but he's doing it with me. So it's, alright, this is gonna kind of start to mix into some of like what I feel about homeschooling and how it's been going, but really I love it. This has literally been everything I love about teaching without all the stuff that I don't like. So it's really difficult for teachers to deal with 30 children, obviously, in one classroom, having to, you know, teach specific things and make sure that the kids are understanding, and you can't really meet them where they're at because you're too busy trying to cover your own butt and like get X, Y, and Z done that you're supposed to get done, but yet you're also supposed to I don't even want to think about it. Okay, those days are behind me. Hot mess being a teacher in today's. It has been so much fun with like just one kid, because yeah, it's my kid, so that's both good and bad, because there's still that I don't want to listen to my mother dynamic when it's like, I'm not your mother right now, like we're learning and this is fun, and he's just like, no, you crazy nerdy lady, this is not fun. And I'm like, yes, this is so much fun. It's just that is a little bit of that going on where like we kind of clash, but still it is so much easier just teaching one student as opposed to like 30 at the same time, and also not having the restrictions of specific curriculum, of whatever, of how to, you know, do whatever lesson. It's, I love it. I love it. For math, again, websites, and I did get an 8th grade math workbook from Spectrum. So I'm, for math, heavily using Khan Academy and the workbook for like supplementing, but the lessons on Khan are phenomenal. Another phenomenal website for math and like interactive learning with the lessons and everything and the practice is flexbooks.ck12.org. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through like the entire iHIP, but obviously like I am very excited for all these things, and like I'm gonna be learning too, and we're doing a bunch of museums and like things around the city. We live in New York, so we have this amazing, I've always wanted to homeschool. I feel like I'm getting everything I've ever wanted. I got my channel back. We're focusing on you guys full time again. I'm homeschooling my kid. This is like my dream life coming true. It's, I'm so happy. I've noticed that our arguments have substantially like diminished to maybe like here and there regular 13-year-old snappy little attitude answers, to which I'm just like, okay, bye bro. You know what I mean? Like nothing, with the flexibility of you're in a mood, you don't want to do school right now, cool, peace out, I'll go get some work done, I'll do something else, we'll try again later. A lot of our problems were stemming from school, from the fact that he didn't want to go, from the fact that he was unhappy and he didn't want to do his work and all these things. So removing that has definitely like, it's been so much like more chill and like more peaceful. He's really happy to homeschool. You know, you have some of that like, not doubts, but just like, am I gonna fuck my kid up? Like you always kind of sort of, I mean, if you breathe the wrong way as a parent, you're like, oh, is that gonna mess up my kid somehow? You know what I mean? Like you're always worried about something. So like that did cross my mind, but he seems really happy, and I asked him like a million times and he's like, I wanted to do this. This is good. I'm happy, blah, blah. I've been kind of exploring the idea of deschooling, but I'll admit it's been hard for me with my teacher training, and this entire experience is like a learning process for both of us, because I'm really having to revisit the way that I do teaching. Not that it's a bad thing though, because I do not want to be in a classroom ever again. But at the same time, there's a million ways to teach. And I think this is a great opportunity for me to kind of shift that classroom teacher mindset to a more like, it keeps overheating, to more of like an exploratory work with the person kind of model. And I think that will serve me well in my future as well. So I've been trying to like toy with the idea of deschooling, but it's been difficult. I have to keep reminding myself. I still find myself trying to like force him to like wake up at a certain time and get dressed and sit at a table and let's do this and let's block out hours for X, Y, and Z. Also because like that is kind of my personality and how I'm a nerd. I always was like a nerd, and it was fun for me to sit there and do workbooks like for fun on the weekends, and you know, it's not like that for everyone, and I need to remember that. So it's an interesting experience. Deschooling is hard. It's really hard for me. There's some mornings where I'm just like, fine, you know what, you sleep in, I'll go to the gym, I'll do my work, I'll do my stuff, and then if you wake up at like 9 or 10, we get started then. And I did a whole bunch of stuff in the morning when I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean? So that actually works. You guys will see in my winter routine video that's coming up in February on the main channel. But I've switched around my life like schedule and routine just to kind of try to accommodate this deschooling idea. I'm also kind of really excited for the weather to get nicer, because it's really cold, and you know, we had plans to like, let's go to the library and let's go here and let's go there, but the reality is setting in that we don't feel like going outside in the cold, and then getting stuff done at home is more difficult. There's more distractions around at home. So that's one thing that's like annoying me because I really want to like work, but again, trying to, I don't know, to do this whole deschooling thing and understand that I can still provide an excellent education, probably better than he would have gotten in school, because he's actually focused and understanding. Like, we're having discussions. So that's another thing that also was a great benefit. You guys know everything going on with my mom and the surgery, and now the surgery is postponed even longer. It was supposed to be on the 31st, and yesterday she had bad blood work. Yesterday we repeated blood work, and she did a stress test. Like, just more problems now with the stress test, so she needs to do something else now before they can even clear her. So it's a mess, and it's difficult for me being the only one. I'm training clients, I'm doing all this stuff for YouTube now that I'm trying to like really pump out content for you guys on all the socials, and be more smart about it too, so that I can get into a flow. But then taking Noelle back and forth to school and dealing with all of that was going on in school, and then taking care of my mom, it was a lot. So in that sense, also because of everything going on with my mom and all the appointments, and it's just a lot more convenient now that I can kind of, you know, take my kid around with me. I don't have to worry about pickup or drop off, or if he's missing school, or like I gotta leave early or take him out early because there's an appointment. So that's been a lot less of a stress too. And then all this time that we're like sitting in cars, you know, looking for parking or waiting for her to get out of the doctor or whatever, we do school. And it's been really convenient because I was really like, I felt like I was wasting so much time. Like, I have to drive to all these places and do all these errands, and I'm not doing things that need to get done. So it's like now I'm using that time to have discussions with him. We bring books, we read the books. I have the iPad set up with like all the resources that he needs. So it's cool. Like, do you feel like doing some math now, or do you want to read some of Animal Farm right now? And like, we get to pick what we're doing, and it's been working. So far it's been working very nicely in that sense. What else do I have in my notes? Perfection, overdoing it, my teacher side, we talked about all of that. We're both learning and growing. A lot of what I want to focus in on as well is just like shifting his mindset. He's 13, almost 14. It's a difficult age. I know all of you guys remember. I know I remember. So he's also been through a lot the last like year and a half now. So I'm just excited for this time to kind of focus on nurturing our relationship, because it's been, you know, all of these things, and me pushing him to do homework and to go to school, and him like being so moody and 13 and sad. Like, there's always that, this age sucks, man. Like, the parent-kid relationship during the teenage years is so hard. And I remember when I was the teenager, so it's like, oh my God. He is not anywhere near as bad as I was, so I guess I'm counting my blessings so far on that. But he's just very sad, very sad lately, and it's difficult to see, and I can't force him to be happy. So trying to strengthen our relationship, provide some nice experiences for him, spend quality time while we're learning and exploring things and having fun, and like when the weather gets nicer, getting out to the city more, doing all that kind of stuff. And hopefully by the end of, you know, 8th grade, he'll be in much better spirits, feeling better. 'Cause these are like the best years, dude, you know? Like, I'm sad that he's sad. I want him to be enjoying these awesome years of life, because like, then you get old and you have responsibilities and stuff to do. So so is life, right? It's been really interesting. Like, I don't know if this is what a midlife crisis is, but I've just been like reflecting a lot on like the different chapters of my life, and how like as the chapters, like you really become, you live like all these different lives. Like, you're different people in different like chunks of life. It's pretty cool. It's like life is pretty awesome. So interesting. But anyway, before my camera really hates me, I love you guys so much. I just wanted to check in real quick on the vlog channel with this little discussion today, hang out a little bit. I will be cranking out content this weekend because it's gonna be like 7 degrees, so you know I'm not leaving the house. I'm just gonna hang out here and get a lot of stuff done for you guys, so stay tuned for that. And soon we're gonna be doing all these homeschooling things in the city that I'll bring you guys along to. Not to talk about homeschooling, but just to like do the fun stuff, because you know. All right, I love you guys. How are you guys doing? How is February starting for you? Because I feel like there was a definite shift between January and now February. We're doing good. So I hope you guys are too. I love you guys so very much. Hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in a couple of days. And go check out the main channel because there's a new video over there too. So love you. Bye.